Hi, my name is Kharma Kelley, and I'm the founder of the Inclusive Romance Project. It is a myriad of things, but I think the first thing that comes to mind is that is a community. It's a community for romance writers, whether you're just starting out, whether you just got the bug and you read like a really awesome romance novel and it's got you thinking, I want to start writing romance, great. Then, or you've been someone who has like 40 books, and I will salute you if you join our group with 40 books under your belt. But we also welcome seasoned authors as well. In fact, I love us to have a myriad of authors from different backgrounds and different starts. Like, I have been a self-published author from the very beginning. We accept, traditional authors, those who are hybrid. We want it all up in this mix. And so wanting to have a community where people can learn from each other, thrive, find critique partners, this is not anything new. There's tons of communities out there. But what sets us for success for the Inclusive Romance Project is that I wanted a safe place for authors of marginalized identities. So it has been 1 year that I have started the Inclusive Romance Project. It started as a work in progress critique group. Started at doing it in the libraries, and then it was kind of problematic to have it in the libraries because they had like the time that we had to fit in there was super short. It was like an hour long. A lot of people couldn't make it right after work. And so I decided that, in true inclusive fashion, if you want more people to be a part of your group and your community, you just have to make it more accessible. And so I moved it to being virtual in February of last year. Had no idea that the bomb of the pandemic would drop, but when it did, it did not affect us. We already were meeting together virtually, and we've been able to grow virtually ever since. I haven't met a single person physically that has joined us in the community for the past year, but we've met from numerous like Zoom meetings and introductions, and it's been great. So, what is the goal of the Inclusive Romance Project? I would say the goal is I wanted just having a nice sense of community. I think sometimes we can take for granted the ability to be a part of a group of like-minded individuals and those that want to help and want to support, especially in writing. Writing, I say this almost anytime someone asks me, like, writing is a very lonely job. It could be very isolating. You're stuck in your thoughts and your creativity, and sometimes it can form a little vacuum, and it makes it challenging for you to hone your craft when you're crafting in a vacuum. So having just a community of folks who just want to be better writers and want to respect the differences of everyone's like thought process, who they are as an individual, and just have a place where we can grow and learn more. There's so much to learn about the craft of writing, so much to learn about like the marketing side and like those who want to be a published author, knowing the intricacies of that and being able to help guide folks through that as well. So I would say the goal is really just community, and that will be something that I will just kind of stick as our goal every year, as long as people are giving me feedback that they are learning, that they have made new connections, and they are growing as a writer. That's all I really wanted. About the mentorship program. Um, so, man, it has been a long, and you ever just like look back and just be like, it felt last year, felt like 5 years ago. But I would say, thinking back, so the mentorship program actually had been in my head for a while. I can't remember where it started. I know that there was just ebbs and flow of thought, being a part of other organizations for writing and just hearing about like them wanting to do a mentorship program. And when I started this community, at that stage, it really was a critique group, and a couple other, folks wanted to join in. And then we started a rainbow romance group, had joined us as well, and we have that in our project. And then that was kind of it. And I started thinking, man, it would be really cool to have a mentorship tied into this, especially because I think at that time there was a lot of um, churn going on with RWA, and I won't get into that. There's tons of information out there that covers that. But one of the things that was really heartbreaking, that I heard from a lot of other members, is that they had a mentorship program that was going to be called Ramp Up. But it didn't take fruition during all of this churn that was going on within the organization. And so that left a lot of people really bummed out. And I was bummed for them, because, I mean, you have so many romance authors out there who are so skilled, and it's great to like connect with those individuals and then like find a way for you to kind of learn and like absorb. And I talk a lot in my discussions around equity and inclusion, that you really need to help build out networking and connections if you want people to thrive in their respected industries. So things like sponsorship and mentorship is very important when you're like to build that action, to build that process of, we want to keep people learning and thriving and making connections. And that's how you learn. That's how you learn about different people. That's how you learn about different processes. That's how you learn about different cultures. I mean, you just got to get in there and start mixing it up and meeting folks. So, I just got, for lack of a better term, just to fire up my ass. And I was just like, okay, I'm going to see what we can do here. And I've done some mentorship programs in other arenas, not anything in the writing community, but in tech and in the corporate world. I didn't lead it. I just was being a proponent and helping out on some of it. But what I learned is that it can be done. It just really takes some upfront dedication and some organization to happen. And then, of course, you gotta have mentors. So I decided to where, like, well, I have an inkling in mind of what I want it to look like and how it's gonna work. But first, before I can even get excited, I need to reach out and see if I can find some mentors. And the funny thing for me is, I don't really know a lot of people. I don't have any friends. I have friends, and I know folks, but it was kind of weird because it's like, I don't know who to actually like tap on the shoulder, like virtually tap on the shoulder. So I didn't want to put anybody on the spot, because what I had learned about mentors and mentorships is that a lot of people who would make great mentors don't know it, because one, they don't know what it is, don't know what it's like to be a mentor or what they would have to do. And then, because 9 times out of 10, like, the mentee who wants the mentor never taps them on the shoulder and just asks them. So I decided I'm just going to put a call out on Twitter and see if there's any authors who would love to be a part of this. And man, I did not expect such an amazing turnout. I had over 20 fantastic authors reach out and saying, yes, I would love to be a mentor for this program and give back. And I did get a little choked up there because it's one of those things, right, for like in the romance community is we have our stuff, like just like a family, like we got our drama, but it is a part of our DNA in this community that people want to help out and they want to support. And it made me feel really warm inside that there were people who believed in me enough to want to do this and work with me on that, because it's a lot of time. And after I got that, I was stoked. I'm like, okay, like I got all these people reaching out and say they want to do it. And like, so now this is the go ahead to just kind of get it done. And so, pull together all the know-how that I had and, started out and I did the trainings and, put up the website and, mapped out what the, mentorship program length was going to be. 6 months is usually a good way to start. So yeah, it kind of started there. What am I looking forward to in 2021? I would say, I don't know, I'm looking forward to doing a bit more with IRP. So we were pretty scrappy last year and, we were surviving. I would say that much. I'm pretty sure there's tons of other, members who felt it was probably a lot better than me. I'm a pretty hard critic. But for me, I wanted the opportunity to do better, but it just didn't really work out that way. And so I was able to think back for last year and then like have all these kind of goals for this year. But one of the things, like, I want to take it slow, and what I want to do first is build a steering committee, because I don't want to be the single point of failure for this program. And so I think it would be great if I get some folks from the community that want to be a part of steering, and I can kind of let them know what the plans are and what I'd want to do. Because once again, you don't want to build shit in a vacuum. So sorry, I'm supposed to be swearing. I'm sorry about that, but it slips out. I'm French. Cajun French. Whatever. Want to do more social events too, because I think for this year, I know that everything is looking a lot more optimistic with the COVID vaccine and things kind of opening up a bit. But I think for the most part, many of us will be virtual for quite some time. So I want to make sure that this space is still accessible for many. And then we're having ways that we can connect outside of just talking about writing. Have a little fun here and there. I did not focus on that enough last year, but I want to do that this year. And then finally, scalability of the mentorship program. This is going to be its second year. It's going to need to grow some more legs. With that, I mean, I stumbled it across the finish line last year by doing a lot of manual labor to make it work. Like I said, I didn't have any software. We had no budget last year. So I did it all by hand. And did all the matching and everything like that by hand. And it worked out. I think getting some of the feedback from most of the mentors and mentees had said that they liked the match that they had received, and they were connecting and they were meeting. I think for this year going forward, I'm trying to raise funds so we can have an actual mentor platform, like getting a software as a service set up to where I can manage that better instead of spending a lot of time doing all the manual effort. This would allow not only the mentors and the mentees to have a better experience, because that's exactly what I want. I want things to be a little bit smoother, everything to be in one platform, but it also allows me to focus more on being a mentoring coordinator and being able to reach out to folks who are having issues or having problems with the software, or even if some people just want to come to me with questions around what they should think about in setting their goals and items like that. I want to help out the mentors and the mentees and be available to them. It was really hard to do that when you're stuck doing a lot of manual work that's taking up a lot of your time. So I have really big hopes for this year. Any closing thoughts? There's just so many. Like, don't forget to get your pets spayed or neutered. Water your plants. For the love of all that's holy, when you use the toothpaste, squeeze from the bottom up. What else? See what Bob's Burgers has to say about this. My father-in-law got me this because he knows that we're a fan of Bob's Burgers. All right. That's not what I was looking for. Closing thoughts. I would say, come join us. I'm going to use this as like a promo for our community. Like, come join us. Come hang out. So it's no frills. I don't do a whole lot of like fantastic magical things. But what is magical is that you have a group of folks who love romance. Boom. Love romance. Read romance. Talk about romance. And like to write the crap out of it. Like, you will fit right in. You'll fit right in. If you're new, never wrote a full-fledged like romance novel before, don't matter. If you like reading romance, you like writing romance, you like talking about romance, come on, we got you. We got you. Just come on. Come find me. What else? I would say closing thoughts is inclusion matters. It works. I will say too that inclusion is a nuanced mindset and discussion. Nothing can be blanketed when you're talking about inclusion. Everything has to be focused, recognize the nuance, recognize the historical background in which our society works before you put anything in place. And another thing is, we are always learning, always learning. I have been running the flag for equity inclusion for over 5 years now, and I'm constantly learning something new. Everything's changing, and I know a lot of people can feel worried about that or concerned, and we know that we as writers, like, our work is always up for criticism. But I'm telling you, like, this work is worth it. Take it slow. Listen more than you respond. And think more than when you react. And I think that will work out for most of us. So yeah. But I will still say too, like, you should water your plants. Don't be like me. I've lost so many. Anyway, thank you so much for this interview. Appreciate you listening. Hope this is helpful. Hope you join us. And if you have any questions about the group, reach out to me at inclusiveromanceproject@gmail.com. It's an email for this. Or you can visit us at inclusiveromanceproject.org. All right. Thank you, everyone. Have a good night.